Hi everyone, Pedro Luferson again, and today we're continuing the Torterra in the Four Season series. And following summer, now we're going to do autumn or fall, depending on wherever you are. I think the autumn one was the one I was anticipating the most because I had a cool idea for the pose and like the composition, but above everything, I was really looking forward to play with the colors. We had a really classic and vanilla approach with the next one with just basically green and sunlight, but this one I knew I would be able to play a lot more. My main focus, as one would assume, is was to play with the colors. I played a lot of the colors with this one. Again, saying bye to the green and hello to hot colors. Lots of orange, lots of red, and a pinch of yellow, but mostly these very fiery colors and fiery tones that don't necessarily are associated with nature and plants because green, obviously, but they are the identity of autumn. So, like, I was just really excited to use such a different color palette in a Pokemon that is largely known to be, well, green, obviously, a grass type. But autumn is such an interesting season to look at because the colors are the most beautiful. Like, where I live, we don't have autumn like other places. Like our leaves don't go yellow, orange, or red. They don't change. They don't fall because I live in a pretty hot country all throughout the year. So even when the seasons move and the climate changes, the autumn there's not it's not a thing basically. There's not a lot of changes. So when I see in a movie or a cartoon, how the colors can change so dramatically, and everything is so beautiful. It's that thing like I've never seen snow either, so like I have this fascination, but I couldn't imagine being surrounded by red and orange from the leaves around you. So I was pretty fascinated from the get-go, but again, the color palette was so exciting. So yeah, I was really excited from the get-go. When I did the thumbnails for all the seasons, I landed on the autumn really quickly, and I already used some coloring pencils to kind of have the idea of what I wanted to go for, and I immediately fell in love with it. One of the things that I had in mind when I was creating the pose was like I wanted to all the forest drawings to have different poses to show to have like the sense of movement and change. And this one in particular, Torterra, is more towards the side because I wanted to have a lot of empty space because I wanted the leaves to like being falling off the tree because of the wind and the change in the temperature. So like they have this effect of almost this gigantic effect from right to left, and all the leaves falling off and all the grass with the wind and all the like this smoky effect on the behind it. So like change the main focus of the composition from the center to the right. Much like with the other drawing, I wasn't quite feeling it until I started putting the shadows and the lights because I was like, it's so bland. But again, the shadows came along and they helped a lot with the vision of this drawing. They were like, oh, finally we're getting somewhere. And again, yeah, I think that's a bit of a trend in this little project. The base colors don't feel like they're working until you put some effects in. The effects started making it all better, and I was like, finally. So I wasn't getting crazy with the other one. It wasn't a lack of ability. It was just a step of the process that I had to learn. For a while, I tried with this yellow light because, like, it's the sunset and a lot of yellow coming from the sun, very fiery. but it was a bit too fiery. It literally looks like it's on fire. So like once I asked for a second opinion, and once they told me that it looks like it's on fire and it's not looking like the peaceful vibe that you want to give, I was like, damn, you're right. So like I tried to stick with the yellow for a while, but I eventually gave up on it. I started to play a bit with the shadows. Like in the previous one, I used blue shadows because of the ambient light. But in this one, I wanted to like drift away from any obvious choices. So the shadows I went with purples and pinks even, because they are much closer associated with the red and orange color palette, and I think they work just fine. They look so good, and you can see right now I gave up on the yellow for the lighting, and I went with red, like very deep and saturated red. And I gotta admit, I was immediately in love with it. Like not immediately actually. It took me a while to let go of the yellow, like emotionally. I was like, oh, the yellow was so good. But when I got used to the red ones, the red tones and the red shades, I was like, yeah, that's it. That's the twist I wanted. The yellow was a bit too obvious and too, in a way, bright compared to the other colors around it. Then I saturated the other colors a little bit too later, but the red, it gave such a magical vibe in a way. It was like, yeah, it's not necessarily the natural red you would find in nature, because it's a sunset and sunsets are not usually red, duh. But just like going a bit beyond what is believable and what is natural just made everything look so great. From now on, I was mostly focusing on smaller details, like the borders of the grass around it, and little spots of light here and there on the leaves following with the wind, and how the light hits the tip of the grass on Torterra's back, that grass that I added later, because I just taking care of the general shapes. Now they're it was a small work in a way, but I would say that it was all worth it. But at the same time, when I get too far in the drawing, like early, closer to the end, when I feel like I'm getting closer to the end, I get more and more focused on the small details that I know probably nobody will realize but me. So it gets a little compulsive. Like I'll do a bit, then I'll stop, and I'm like, maybe I'll do a bit there, a bit here, and a bit there, and it gets a bit annoying. That actually gets quite annoying, because I feel like I could improve, but at the same time, I know I'm getting in a zone that I'll never touch enough for it to be perfect, because nothing is ever perfect. So it's a weird balance of improving, feeling satisfied with it, and actually adding details that I think that are worth it, and understand that some things are just too small details to care. So yeah, that's a confusing territory often. I will say that I often look back at the summer drawing, because it was in a way easier to make, because I just like went with the feeling. But with this one, I have the other one as a precedent and as a reference, so I was looking back at the other one constantly, especially in the beginning, to see if I had the proportions of the Torterra correctly according to the aspect ratio of the canvas itself. So like this, I had much more things to worry about in the beginning, and also how the borders and the grass connect with the white, and how the smudge of the brush. So like I wanted it to be coherent with the previous drawing, which was annoying in a way. It's a weird feeling when you use your own drawing as reference, but it makes sense in like in the Minecraft project and this project to use them as references. But at the same time, it has a limiting feeling that you didn't have with the first one, because the first one was the first one. It kind of created the rules, but I reached the point that I was like, no, each one of those drawings is going to have its own rules, because different color palette, different composition, different vibe. Like the vibe of this one, I haven't spoken of it yet. It's like the previous Torterra was like chilling on the sunlight. This Torterra is like a bit sad and contemplating the change of the seasons. It's like, oh, my leaves are falling out, are falling off. The winds are getting colder. It's like with what winter and low temperatures does to us. So it's like nostalgic, and like it's already missing the vibe of the summer, and kind of saying goodbye to the his leaves and the sunlight, and just enjoying this, not enjoying, feeling this moment that's a bit sad, but at the same time is deeply beautiful. I it's like a certain loneliness, but also yeah, it's a bit lonely, it's a bit sad in the situation with the changes that he knows is about to happen to it. And that is how I look in the end. I'm gonna say I really enjoy this color palette. I These colors are, they're just so beautiful. Like we drift away completely from the natural greens. Like Torterra itself is not green anymore. So even its grass changed colors. But I thought like let's just go with basic oranges and yellows. But when red came to the composition, it changed everything. With the purple and the violet and pinks, they came towards the beginning, even before the red, but all of this together makes such a beautiful, unnatural maybe, but such a beautiful contrast. Like you can see how the gradient, like the shade, like we see the yellows on the, like on the farther left side, and emerging to the orange, reds, and suddenly purples and pinks. And I would say that my favorite parts, like being very detailed, are like around Torterra's butt. Like literally the part with the pink and the reds, and how they fade away in the white spots with the brushes, the watercolors, and the top of Torterra's red head with the red. Like I love how the red light just glows, like it, I wouldn't say bleeding, not in the blood way, but like it's a light that is invading, that is overflowing and taking over that specific spot. And I love how red is such a protagonist, such a main character in this drawing. And like it's like dreamy in a different way. The other one was dreamy because it was cute, like the first drawing, but this one is a dreamy because it's almost unrealistic. It's like you have to embrace it to know its beauty, because it's not, again, not completely natural colors, but they all make sense in a way. And the pinks and purples and deep blues around the shell, like the gray part of its shell. Yeah, I really enjoy this drawing. It got a bit confusing towards the end, because I got to that state that I was thinking too much in small details, and it was difficult for me to actually enjoy it. But at the end, I just gonna say I think this is going to be the best of this Torterra project by far. This is my favorite. I'm gonna say this right now. I haven't made the winter and spring yet, but this one, it takes a prize in my heart. So let's see what the others have to offer in the future. And until then, check out part 1, like with the summer Torterra if you haven't checked yet. See some other videos that I have here in my channel. These videos are quite a breeze to make, so it's nice to have a pause from big and complex video projects. So, and besides, I get to have like new backgrounds for my computer. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what you think of this drawing. I really enjoyed it, I really like it. So, but I want to know your guys' opinions, because I'm not doing this project alone. You guys are a part of it, so comment down below. See you guys in the next video. Subscribe, leave a comment, share this video with someone who is a big Torterra fan, because I know I'm not alone. And see you guys next time. Bye.